Jnaneshwar belongs to the state of Maharashtra. He resided very near the hometown of Thukaram. In Maharashtra, the devotees refer to him as Jnanadeva. At the age of 15, he wrote a commentary on Bhagavad Gita, which is called Jnaneshwari. It is very famous in Maharashtra. The commentary of Shankaracharya is less popular than Jnaneshwari in Maharashtra. No house exists in Maharashtra without the book Jnaneshwari. People usually gift the book Jnaneshwari in marriages rather than saris. Jnaneshwar did not get a natural death but attained Jiva Samadhi. A samadhi was built around him when he was alive at only 21 years of age.
Jnaneshwar was born to Vithalpant and Rukminibai. He had 2 brothers and 1 sister, namely Muktabai. All 4 of them were Jnanis. Once, when all 4 children were seated on a wall, a villager informed them, "A great Mahatma has arrived in the village. He travels across the village sitting on a tiger's back and performing several miracles." Then Jnaneshwar replied, "How is it that we welcome such a powerful man so ordinarily?" Saying so, he ordered the wall on which he was seated to move. Accordingly, the wall traveled and reached the Mahatma sitting on the tiger. When the Mahatma saw the wall moving, he got down from the tiger and said, "Swami, forgive me. I only conquered a living being and became proud of my achievement. But you conquered a non-living being, that is a wall. Now I am humbled. I will never perform any other miracle in my life." Saying so, he left.
One day, Muktabai went to the market to buy a utensil for preparing chapati. However, when she was insulted by worldly people, she came back with a heavy heart and sat down in a corner sorrowfully. When Jnaneshwar came to know the reason for her sorrow, he said, "You need to cook chapatis, don't you? You can utilize my back for that purpose." Saying this, he knelt. Then, utilizing his fire of yoga, he ignited his back and turned it into a burning utensil. Muktabai happily cooked the food accordingly.
Pattabhi Sitha Ramaya, who established Andhra Bank, wrote about Jnaneshwar's sister in his book on the saint. She used to educate about 10 kids interested in gaining knowledge of the scriptures. She used to talk about Gita and Upanishads. She used to maintain time for the discussion. Once, her bath delayed the discourse. When she came out after her bath, the children left and returned after 10 minutes. She asked them why they had left. They replied that they had waited for her to wear clothes. Then she replied, "What does it matter if one is naked? Have you seen cracks in the walls? It is the same with the body without clothes. There is nothing to be ashamed of here. Have you learned nothing from my teachings? You have to transcend the senses. Are you learning to better yourself or teach others?" Her greatness is that she always enjoyed the solitude. She derived happiness within, not depending on others. She is an example of enlightenment. Can we boast the same? Are we happy staying alone? If we can remain joyful without the intervention of individuals or society, we are eligible for bliss. Rebirth is unnecessary if we are blissful at the time of death. Jnaneshwar's sister is nobler than her elder brother. She can stay blissful even in solitude. We are dependent on someone for our happiness. Jnaneshwar's sister stayed joyful without depending on the family, property, and external pleasures. Whether children came to her or not, she remained the same. Whether teaching or not teaching, she remained the same. We depend on some external source for our happiness, which enslaves us.
Once, Jnaneshwar requested the Brahmins in his village to conduct his thread ceremony. However, they said, "You are not eligible to study Vedas. Hence we cannot conduct your thread ceremony." Then Jnaneshwar said, "How can you decide who is eligible or ineligible to study Vedas?" Saying thus, Jnaneshwar touched a buffalo that stood nearby. The buffalo then started chanting the Vedas. Seeing that, all of them were surprised by the power of Jnaneshwar and agreed to conduct his thread ceremony.
खरंच तुम्ही द्याव आहे.
देव तुम्हा प्रत्येकात देव आहे. तुमच्यात आहे, यांच्यात आहे, जनावरात, किडामुंगीत, प्रत्येक वस्तू मात्रात तो भरून राहिला आहे. त्या कृष्ण परमात्म्याचं तुम्ही चिंतन करा आणि त्यानं सांगितलेल्या माणूस धर्माप्रमाणे आचरण ठेवा. म्हणजे तुमची भीती, तुमची संकट, तुमची दुःख सगळी नाहीशी होती. एक तत्व नाम धरी मना, एक तत्व नाम धरी मना, हरीसे करुणा येईल तुझी. एक तत्व नाम धरी मना, ते नाम सोपे रे. राम कृष्ण गोविंद, राम कृष्ण गोविंद, राम कृष्ण गोविंद, ते नाम सोपे रे. राम कृष्ण गोविंद, वाचेसी सगद जपे आधी, वाचेसी सगद जपे आधी. एक तत्व नाम धरी मना, नामा परते तत्व नाही रे अन्यथा. नामा परते तत्व नाही रे अन्यथा. वाया आणि का पंथा वाया जाती धनी. एक तत्व नाम धरी मना, ज्ञानदेव मौन जपमाळ अंतरी. धरोनी श्रीहरी जपे सदा, धरोनी श्रीहरी जपे सदा. एक तत्व नाम धरी मना, एक तत्व नाम धरी मना, ते नाम सोपे रे. राम कृष्ण गोविंद, 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 राम
గొప్ప పాయింట్లు. నీకు సుఖపడాలని ఉందా అని అడిగాడు. ఏంటి ఉందండి అన్నాడు. అబద్ధం చెప్పలేదు. నీకు కామక్రోధాలు పోవన్నాడు. ఇది రాసుకోండి అందరూ. ఎంతవరకు నేను చెప్పిన ఉపన్యాసాలను మీరు మర్చిపోయిన పర్లేదు. ఈ జ్ఞానేశ్వర్ చెప్పిన పాయింట్ రాసుకోండి. నీకు సుఖపడాలని ఉందా అన్నాడు. నీకు లోపల ఎంతకాలం అయితే సుఖపడాలని కోరుకుంటుందో నువ్వు ఏది తపస్సు చేసినా కామక్రోధాలు పోవన్నాడు.
Lord Krishna, Vasishtha, Buddha, Ramana, and several other Mahatmas have preached how to transcend lust and anger. Of all of them, I like Jnaneshwar's teaching the most. Though several Mahatmas have written commentary on Bhagavad Gita, they all adopted a traditional approach. However, Jnaneshwar opened his heart in his commentary. Referring to lust and anger, Jnaneshwar said, "There is no guarantee that you will lose your lust and anger if you go and perform penance in the Himalayas. Also, don't have a misconception that you can overcome lust and anger by fasting for 10 days. When you resume taking food, the lust and anger return. You may ask, will I lose lust and anger after my death? No, not at all. Then how to overcome lust and anger?" Jnaneshwar asked a devotee, "Do you seek to enjoy the pleasures?" The devotee replied positively. Then Jnaneshwar replied, "Whatever you do, whether you earn money or get married, is all driven by your seeking to enjoy. As long as you have this desire to enjoy in the heart of your hearts, you cannot overcome your lust and anger." So Jnaneshwar has revealed a crucial truth here. Some people die naturally due to old age without getting any disease. Similarly, you will naturally overcome lust and anger when you lack the desire to enjoy. But, on the other hand, any amount of penance will be useless when you possess the desire to enjoy, for it will throw you back into the Maya.
Jnaneshwar has revealed another secret. If you don't desire to enjoy, you will become utterly oblivious to happiness and sorrow. So it implies that you will not feel suffering when subject to sorrow and will not enjoy when subject to happiness. It is a crucial truth. See how wonderfully this 15-year-old boy has revealed it. Many people suggest performing japa and meditation. What amount of meditation can help when you internally still have the desire to enjoy? The desire to enjoy resembles the disease of cancer. As cancer spreads and doesn't reduce, the desire to enjoy keeps increasing. Don't you see the Puranas referring to the rishis falling prey to lust and anger despite performing tremendous penance? So whatever Jnaneshwar said is correct. Jnaneshwar is not forbidding penance. But if these penances cannot help you to overcome the desire to enjoy, they are all useless, as this desire will throw you back into Maya.
Further elaborating on the desire to enjoy, Jnaneshwar said, "You may read some scriptures and utter with the mouth that everything visible is false. But in the heart of hearts, you consider them 100% true. How can such dispassion sustain? Dispassion that is situational and conditional cannot sustain. Without having a sustainable dispassion, how can you overcome lust and anger? People who look beautiful may feel happy when someone compliments their beauty. It is due to their identification with the body. If you get excited when praised and disheartened about getting criticized, it is all due to your identification with the mind. How can you overcome lust and anger as long as you have identification with non-self? That is, the body and mind. The desire to enjoy is the rootworm. It will not die on spraying endrin. Only the worms relating to leaves and branches die with endrin, not the rootworms. You must dig into the roots to eliminate the rootworms.
Jnaneshwar said, "Your son's behavior towards you will change after his marriage." What is marriage? Your son is purchasing a woman's body as he seeks to enjoy pleasure. His enjoyment is more important to him than the welfare of his parents. His wife fulfills his desire to enjoy. So he gradually forgets his parents while enjoying the pleasure provided by his wife. It is the greatest secret revealed by Jnaneshwar. Here Jnaneshwar mentions the reason why children forget their parents after getting married. Your son needs enjoyment. His wife provides him with the greatest pleasure. You may give him ordinary pleasure but not the greatest pleasure. So he gradually gets distanced from you mentally.
The Puranas may refer to the pleasures in other worlds. If your mind gets attracted to such references, it implies that you desire to enjoy them and lack dispassion. These pleasures beget sin and disease. The root cause of every sin and flaw is lust and anger. So give up both attraction and repulsion. By doing so, you will develop equanimity. When you build equanimity, your mind will be within your thinking faculties' control and will not get extroverted. Lord Krishna said, "Pull back your mind from the things it gets attracts." It is called sadhana or spiritual practices. However, Krishna's devotee, Jnaneshwar, says, when your mind lacks attraction and repulsion, where is the question of its extroversion? So if you desire to enjoy pleasures, perform spiritual practices to overcome them.
Keep working but work without any expectation of results. You are a great failure if you work with an expectation to get results someday or another. When the result comes without your expectation, such a result will not bind you.
When approached by death, you don't feel that body is dying. Instead, you think, I am dying. It is because of your identification with the body, which is called ego sense. When someone dies in this world, it doesn't impact you, but when your family member dies, you will consider it your own death. If your son gets a salary hike, you happily share this information with others, but you don't do it when others get a salary hike. It is all due to your attachment. Jnaneshwar says, "Are you aware whether you have ego sense and attachment, or should someone refer to any book to confirm this? As long as you have them, you are bound to get rebirth. You need not take others' advice in this regard."
There are two criteria to earn eligibility for liberation. 1. Get rid of your evil tendencies, bad habits, and wrong desires. 2. Eliminate your ego sense and attachment. You must get that state here and now and not after death. One who attains such a state will never get deluded. You must achieve this state at least on your death day. Even then, you will get liberated.